Welcome to the Crypto Campfire. The wizard would give one of them a hip and the other common sense. Mitch and the Professor. Featuring special guest, Jonah Glasgow.
Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the Crypto Campfire podcast. This is the Professor.
And Mitch.
Today we've got Jonah Glasgow on the show, founder and CEO of Sparkle Mobile. Before we start talking to Jonah, let's go ahead and take a look at the crypto news from the Crypto Gent.
Thanks, Professor. Hello, Crypto Campfire listeners, and welcome to the Crypto Currency News in a Flash with the Crypto Gent. Daily Ethereum transactions exceed 1 million at first since May 2018. US clean energy firm Clearaway Energy will test blockchain for renewable energy trading. And Maple Leaf Capital says recent Bitfinex IEO Ample Fourth token is not stable. That's the cryptocurrency news in a flash as Bitcoin hovers around $11,800. Please follow at the Crypto Gent. Back to you.
Thanks for that bit of news there, Crypto Gent. It's so nice to hear from you every time we start this thing. It's refreshing to get your style mixed into this podcast, and I really want to say thank you for all that you do for us. It's awesome. It's awesome. So today we have Jonah Glasgow with us. It's been a pretty crazy week for us. It's been a crazy week for the project that the Professor and I have been deeply involved in for the last year and a half. It sounds like we might be having an opportunity to take over this project and move forward and get this thing really cooking. So I'm looking forward to some closure on it, whether it is that route that we go or whether it's a different route. Either way, positivity is going to abound, and we will prevail at the end of the day, no matter what route we take. I think the drive that we both share and the passion that we have for our people, for our community, and for this cryptocurrency sphere, I think will take us to any level that we choose to achieve. So that being said, guys, I'm glad you joined us today, and let's get talking to Jonah. Jonah, how are you, sir?
Oh, I'm good, man. I'm good. I'm glad to be here.
Oh, it's great to have you.
Yeah. It's been very busy, just over the past month. I've been behind the scenes a lot with some development with our new website coming out. So I've just been, full speed, on just getting things ready to go. A little bit busy on my end.
Hey, busy is a good thing though, right? Always going 100.
Yeah, it's good. It's good.
Anymore you get bored if you're not. Seriously, if you're not going 100 miles an hour, you're like, what am I going to do?
Well, if we know anything about Jonah, we know he never slows down. So
no, right. He's always got something he's into, so yeah. I love it.
So, Jonah, why don't you tell us a little bit about Sparkle and kind of how you came into the idea of launching this app?
Yeah, I'd like to hear that.
Yeah, so I just, I've always been an enthusiast of cars. Before I really got into cryptocurrency, I was always just, fascinated by cars. I had a couple of race cars on myself that I built up on my own time, and I've really just found a passion for it. One of the things that I always hated too when building these cars is dealing with third-party mechanics. Whether it was trying to find the right person or maybe trying to find the right deal for whatever it is you're trying to do. In my case, when I was racing, it was usually getting tires changed, oil changes, fluids, things done quickly I could do an oil change, so I wasn't really worried about that. But tire rotations and finding people to support you in different areas and get them done rapidly, it was very hard, especially for a good price, right? Because when you're traveling and doing these certain events, for me personally, it became something that was a costly event because you have to travel from state to state or country to country to be able to participate in some of these events. So budgeting was always part of that. And when you look at actual general maintenance, that always is a part of it as well, budgeting. So I found that just really finding local people to help you with certain products became more and more frustrating. The SEO optimization on Google is good, but it really narrows down to maybe 6 or 7 shops and not always going to give you the best price. It doesn't tell you the price necessarily right there. You have to go call them, have an interaction. And after about 3 or 4 calls, you're already frustrated. You're trying to find the nearest shop and you're trying to get it done. That's right. That's just my general experience. So Sparkle is kind of just taking a different approach to this. We've just said, let's just give people what they want. Let's give them, an availability to be able to just see prices of certain products, oil changes, tire rotations, windshield repairs, whatever that may be, in a localized area on the web where they can sit
Flat
there.
rate numbers.
Yeah, flat rate numbers, just like Groupon,
Right.
where shops can simply just put up their stuff and get new customers.
So we know you got a new website coming out. What's the time frame on that?
It was supposed to be out today, to be honest. I just got a little bit picky.
Oh.
I got a little bit picky with some of the stuff, so I'm just going through it, just doing some housekeeping and making sure that it's going to come out pretty nice. It should be out probably tomorrow or the following day.
You know what, to be honest with you, I think that's probably the best route. I was kind of hopeful that we would be able to actually have this podcast with you and this interview prior to the release of that, because it'll help set the tone for everybody to, when they visit it, kind of have an expectation of what they're looking for, instead of, it's kind of letting the cat out of the bag without letting the cat out of the bag. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, like, we look at Groupon, right? There's not very many people right now that are actually in this field. So we do have some competitors, right? We can say that there are some very there's some major brands out there in the market. We could say there's WagJag, Groupon, but they've really followed the same kind of commission-based model for every single, they followed this traditional commission-based for the past, I would say, 5 years. And what that means is that they've always taken 50% from vendors, and it really lowers the margin that vendors actually have to make revenue. I think we can do better. We could probably take about 20% and still give automotive shops exactly what they want and put them in a localized area. No longer are you going to sit there and try and find an oil change, but also see restaurant deals and also see, saturated market full of spa and other stuff that just is completely unrelated. When you go to Sparkle, you're going to see nothing but automotive services.
Right, and that's kind of the unique part of it, and the simple fact that auto shops would in turn receive most likely more business, especially because it's opening up a whole nother form of payment for them using the Sparkle token, right? So that's gonna open up that whole avenue, that whole revenue stream for the vendor and all of the people that are within using that revenue stream. I think that is probably the biggest benefit in my mind to spreading the adoption of being able to spend our cryptocurrency, right?
Yeah. I mean, we're really just following two successful models that have really worked so far. Groupon, we think we can do better by lowering the commission model and making it a localized area for dedicated things, not just a saturated market, and kind of following the traditional method that Overstock.com also used, where they accept digital currencies. If we can accept Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Sparkle, I think that will really create a marketplace that's tailored for digital currencies, but also automotive services.
Cool. So what about the auto detailing portion of that? That'll still be within that whole realm, right?
Of course, yeah. You can get,
because it's full auto services.
Yeah, detailing too. We really just didn't want to narrow it just to auto detailing. The more I thought about it, I was like, okay, if I make an application that's also, tracking their location and stuff like that, message board, it's their payment gateway, well, then you all of a sudden become their appointment scheduler. And that's great, but the conversion rate that you would see from, detailers moving over from their current scheduler to our scheduler to also accept mobile payments, I just didn't think that was going to be as vital as opening the realm up to all automotive services and really just providing a digital coupon that anyone can download and go redeem wherever they are.
That's really the unique, cool part of it. Now, can you explain to everybody what proof of liquidity is and how that works with the Sparkle token?
Yeah.
It seems like a pretty unique process to me.
I mean, it's basically staking, but just really dummied down. Not everybody in other areas really are familiar with staking or running a node. There's a lot of things still with that area that is very frustrating. For example, if you're in Ethereum right now and you're actually running a staking smart contract, it's a randomized process, which means that a select few people within the contract get rewards just on a randomized event, right? So there's really no way to guarantee that you're actually going to get the required ROI that you're predicted, because you can't guarantee that you're going to get a reward every day. It might go to somebody else. So what we've done with proof of liquidity is we've really just decided to give everybody a reward every day. not randomize this process and just say after about 24 hours or X amount of blocks that you guys will get a reward. So it's just dumbing down the process that's already been there, because it's been very frustrating for some people to actually get a reward and participate in some of these programs, and just make it more friendly for everybody to use.
That's cool.
I think that's a key thing in the crypto space that a lot of projects failed to achieve, is that level of simplicity. And I know in some cases it's almost necessary for it to be complicated in a way. But for a project like yours that requires a lot of everyday people that aren't necessarily tech heads or whatever to use it, and that's like your target audience, right? It's not necessarily just tech people, but everybody. You have to have that level of simplicity so that they can understand it and get in easier and not just shy away from it.
Right.
off the bat.
I mean, like with staking contracts, the Ethereum community was excited because they thought that they were going to participate in this new reward system, right? And as soon as it came out and people stopped, they didn't get a reward for 4 or 5 days because there's like 100,000 people in the smart contract and the process is completely randomized. There's just not enough tokens to give out to everybody, or it's partitioned down so smallly that you're getting, like a 1/64th of what you possibly could be getting because there's just so many people in this pool. It creates a system that's almost not as fun to participate in as you thought it would be, right? So I just want to make it more simple, right? Like if you have 1%, like our goal is that even if you have 1 token, you're going to get 1% over the next year.
Nice. That's awesome.
Heck yeah.
So Jonah, in your opinion, other than Sparkle, what do you think would be the first killer use case that's really going to dominate the crypto industry?
I like how you threw that in there. Other than Sparkle.
Yeah.
I've been doing a lot of research while building this website. So I've actually seen a lot of projects that I normally wasn't aware of. And that being said, I would say that there's some very interesting use cases coming out on the market. The one that actually has my attention is Japan Content Token. I think what he's doing is something that's pretty cool. His use case is just really bringing back SEO optimization for restaurants in highly dense areas. So for example, if you went to Singapore, if you went to Japan or something like that, it's very hard to find menus for restaurants and actually find delivery services and so forth because it's a really saturated market. So in Japan, it's even more saturated. I think there's like the population of Canada just surrounding Tokyo. So it's really saturated. And that being said, he's providing a place just where people can actually list their restaurants and do mobile delivery, and it's all powered by blockchain. So I'm interested by that. I think I'm a little bit interested because I also met him in person and I didn't expect to see him slowly creeping up to a top 100 token. But to me, I think what he's doing is pretty interesting. And I would normally never say something like that.
Well, it sounds like a cool project. In what ways is he actually leveraging the blockchain to help with this?
You know what? To be honest, I heard him speak, and what really got me interested in the fact of it was that he was self-funded. So I think he funded it completely himself. He's from Japan. He came by himself, and a year later, he's a top 100 token. So I guess he's doing the right things, and using social. I think it was something to do with social networks, whatever they are popular in Japan. He's using that leverage with blockchain to be able to connect the two and do a payment gateway system.
That's awesome. It's really cool to see a self-funded project make it that far.
Yeah.
There's so many of these projects that just make millions of dollars in ICOs and most of them just disappear with it. There's some projects like Sparkle or whatever that have an ICO or an IEO that actually do something and build a really nice project. But there's so many of them that just take this money and then just come up with a half-assed project. But they run all the self-funded projects out, it makes it kind of hard for them to go anywhere.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. In terms of technology, I could say technology is rapidly growing. There's so many more, I would say proof of authority, honestly. Like I've seen more and more projects come up right now adopting that proof of authority network all across the board. Like I think in the top 200 tokens right now, or in the top 200 coins, there's probably about 15 or 20 different networks that are running their own main net that also produce tokens, whether it's a proof of authority network or something very similar and just it works. So it's nice to see those things also, accelerating as well. But I was honestly more drawn to the underdog story. And to me, that was some guy that came from Japan, started a project that he truly believed in a year ago, and now he's a top 100 token.
It's really amazing. It truly is.
Yeah.
So where did you get started in crypto? What was your first project? And before you were working for a project, how did you find crypto in the first place?
Oh my goodness. I've known of crypto for a while, man. Like, I mean, to be honest, even back in the day, like me and Justin used to talk about it, like just joke around, but I never really got involved until I would say 2017. It was kind of one of those weird things where I literally came in based off of FOMO. I literally,
Really?
yeah, man. I mean, like I was an electrical engineer studying for that at the time. Like, my friends were just all about digital currency, and I was like, this is ridiculous. Like, why is it so awesome? And I kind of just studied up on it, and I was like, okay, makes sense.
You're hooked.
Yeah, and I was doing other things that really got me involved, like kind of being on the back end with Linda Coin and talking to that old team. And after that, I kind of just looked at myself and I was like, you know what, I could probably be the CEO of Linda Coin and do a lot better than it did. And it just happened.
Amen. Dude, I'm serious. I got goosebumps right now. Your accomplishments in such a short period of time are highly impressive. And I mean, I have a lot of respect for what you've done. And it's been a pleasure being a kind of a part of that whole experience over the last 9 months, 10 months or so.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of growth still coming your way as you, the entrepreneur, and your future is just, oh my God, I can't even vision the lengths that you can go with what you've accomplished already. So I had to say that because like seriously, I'm sitting here and I got goosebumps. I'm like, man, this is impressive that you've only been in cryptocurrencies for 2 years now and look at where you're at already. And to think, I mean, I can kind of say the same thing about myself as and a professor even, he's been in since 2017. I've been in since 2018.
Mm-hmm.
And to think of where we've come in this short period of time just says how fast this market moves, I guess, is the main point I was trying to make.
I mean, I really got lucky. I think we got lucky because, for example, we've been in this process where some of the other people involved in the team, they might have been the core blockchain developers that were actually producing some of the things. Linda was already built right when I came in, so I didn't have to sit there and create this system.
Right.
I just had to refine it and make it a little bit better and find some people that I knew were in this space as well that were able to help me do that. And I think I accomplished that pretty well. But like, it was really that kind of thing. And I think we also were lucky with, no BS token. You guys have been in this industry where now for the past year and a half, and you really got to see the other parts of the industry that I don't think other people get to see. Like core blockchain developers don't get to see the community relationship as much. They don't get to see, the day-to-day work that comes into Twitter, and it comes into making sure that your community's happy because they're maybe more focused on producing the next update on GitHub. Right. So I think that you guys are really fortunate, and I was too. And, over the next 2 years, obviously, to pick up some of those skills like smart contract development, front end work, back end work, all that stuff can be refined. Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's just you're just learning every little corner of the industry when you work on a project in this space, especially when it's a small one, because you have so many more responsibilities as an individual than you do in a large project that has a much larger team with very specialized people. And that's one thing that like when Linda first turned around, that was when I first heard of it. I'd never even heard of Linda Coin before. And then all of a sudden, I'm starting to see it on Twitter a little bit, and I'm looking into it. And then there's a whole bunch of FUD about change of ownership, and people are freaking out. And I mean, it just looked bad, but for some reason, I wanted to buy some. So I was still a noob at the time, and I was like, man, it's cheap. I'm going to buy $50 just for shits and giggles. And to see when that change of ownership happened, and you became the CEO, and things started moving, and the new website came up, and it was amazing how fast the entire community sentiment turned around. And it was just totally opposite. And it was just like this real project just came out of nothing. and was finally doing something. And it just shows that your drive and determination is just off the hook.
And it also shows that positivity in this market can really turn things around.
Yes.
People are positivity is infectious to people, and the more positive you are, the more that surrounds you will be
Oh,
positive.
dude, I really appreciate that. Just hearing that, guys, it means the world, because I really did. I put everything I had into it. Like that was my baby. It sucks. I kind of get a little heartbroken, seeing some of the things that happen now, because I really believe that project has still potential.
So tell me, Jonah, how did you and Patrick cross paths? This is a story I've been dying to know since I met both of you guys. His energy was just off the hook, and that guy rubbed off on me like you would not believe. I miss
Dude,
his
he
energy.
is nuts. I love it.
Oh my God, that guy's amazing as far as that goes. I mean, I don't know him any other way. All I know is his spitball of energy.
That guy's gold, man. Honestly, like that guy is gold. Pat is like probably one of the best people I've met in crypto. Like, besides, I'm not including you guys. I'm not saying that, but just like,
Oh no, don't even go there. Yeah, he's amazing. There's no question.
Like, the guy is unbelievable. Literally, he's just excited about life, and about everything going on in his life. I think he's one of those guys that just puts out cool energy, because I don't think he has really a bad bone in his body.
Negative energy. No, I don't think so either.
Yeah.
I really don't.
His passion
That's
is just
awesome.
insane. He just never slows down.
Never.
It's insane. It's crazy.
I first met I can't tell you all the details, but I first met Pat obviously in Linda, and after a while he just invited me out to California. So I flew down to Orange County, and we hung out, and we were just chilling and talking
That's
about
cool.
the future, and it really just seemed like it was the easiest conversation I've had. It was pretty funny too,
Right.
because I think he actually asked me to buy me out of Linda. Like he wanted to like take ownership or something like that. I was like, no, dude.
Nice.
I was like,
that's awesome.
Yeah. So I mean, he was just so excited about even Linda. Like he wanted to run it, and like he thought that with everybody in place that we could just take it to the next level. And I just said, just stick around, man. Things will be good. And we've kind of just always been friends ever since.
That's cool.
Nice.
Yeah,
That's cool.
It's cool that you didn't have a price. I like that.
Yeah, there was no price. There was
Really?
no price.
That's true passion right there. Unspoken.
So I was going to ask you, Jonah, who the most influential person you've ever met was. Would that be Patrick, or do you have somebody else who's more inspiring to you in a different way?
I'm going to be honest, man. You'd have to be pretty kick-ass to be Patrick. Honestly, Patrick is one of the most influential people I've met in a long time. Just the way that
oh my God,
the way that the guy moves, man. Like, I mean, like just to say, like, there's some people that I don't know. I feel like
it's hard to put into words.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to put into words, right? Because his success is.
I mean, seriously, it's like a freaking Chihuahua on crack up against a freaking Great Dane with a bad hip. I mean, you can't compare people to Patrick like that.
No, you can't. I mean, like, you just have to surround yourself around successful people. Honestly, the way I see that is like a really good, friend and a good mentor, because, and when I'm his age, I want to be exactly where he is. I want to live a life exactly the same way, I think that you have to surround yourself around positive people that have done successful things in their life. So in that way, they can show you the ins and outs about certain things and help guide you around this direction. I'm still young, right? So it means I'm bound to make mistakes. And I really want to limit the amount of mistakes I'm making just by surrounding myself around really influential people that can help guide me with some of the directions and experiences that they've had.
Well, I've always gone with this philosophy in life that if you're not making mistakes, you're not working hard enough. Number one.
Of course.
Number two, the more mistakes you make, the less apt you are to make those same mistakes again. And the smarter you become because of those mistakes that you've made. It's more impactful to learn from a failure than it is to learn from a success. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
100%.
It just really is. So you can never be afraid to make a mistake, because if you are, it'll prevent you from making a success. Period.
That is so true, man. Pat also is successful from like other ventures. I don't really think cryptocurrency was he just dabbled in it for
No,
fun.
you can tell it wasn't.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. This was not his bread and butter. Absolutely. You can tell by the way he carries himself.
Yeah, so just having those type of conversations, right, when people aren't, I mean, this industry is really weird. Like when you go to a blockchain event, some people you could just tell that they're really drawn in, and cryptocurrency is everything for them. And they have these horse blinders on about whether it's investing in the next project, listing tokens or whatever the case, or just accelerating their project to get listed on every exchange, when there's maybe 50 or 60 different other ways to really benefit your company. And seeing certain people like that in this industry, I think is the most influential. Patrick is one of them. And I think the other person that I mentioned earlier, like the Japan content token, I think that guy was also one of those people. I picked up on it.
Just like you say, surrounding yourself with positive people, it makes all the difference in the world. When you have negative people around you, they just draw you down, and it hurts your confidence and it hurts your motivation. But when you're surrounded by people like Patrick or you guys or anybody else in this space or out of it that has that much energy, it just keeps you up. You know, you're excited about everything every day, and everything's positive. And when shit goes wrong, you can see the bright side of it. Even when shit sucks really bad.
Exactly. There's
if
always a bright
positive
side.
people around you can see the bright side. If you've got negative people around you, you're just going to be depressed.
Stuck
forever.
in the dark. Stuck in the dark, baby. And hell no. I agree. 100%.
No. So, Jonah, do you like pineapple on your pizza?
Oh my goodness, no.
No. Oh, come on.
No, I can't lie. I do.
Okay. I was like, don't deny it.
All right. Wait, yeah, deny it. Oh man. Pineapple, bacon, ham. Oh yeah. All that.
So good.
Dude, try cheese and pineapple pizza.
Cheese and pineapple?
Yeah, it sounds really weird, but like if you get
No.
Lots of cheese?
No, it's amazing.
It doesn't sound weird.
I'm down.
Sorry.
I'm already going to be judged for that comment. I already know.
That's cool.
No, I don't think so.
That's the quote that I should highlight and blast out on Twitter, right?
Yeah.
Fuck yeah. Have you guys ever had the barbecue chicken pizza?
Yes.
Oh,
with pineapples and jalapenos. You gotta have jalapenos on it.
Those are good.
Well, okay.
Those are so good.
My stomach would not like the jalapenos as much as I do.
We went to a luau thing in high school. We were down in San Diego, I think it was.
Did you get laid?
I did.
With the luau's, you know, the lays?
That's exactly what I'm saying.
I had to say it. Nice.
My wife did too. It was perfect. She was a girlfriend at the time, I guess. But so we had this luau with all the real nice, like the pork and all that stuff, all laid out real nice and all the good stuff. And she put a slice of Hawaiian pizza and a macadamia nut cookie on her plate.
Out of all the things.
That's hilarious. Right at home.
Of all the things that were there, the most like non-Hawaiian Hawaiian stuff.
That's like grabbing an almond cookie and a fortune cookie from a luau.
Hey, you know, I'm down. Fortune cookies are always good.
Going to China and getting some little taos.
Exactly.
Oh my God. You know, I took a picture. I'll have to find it and put it back on Twitter again, but I took a picture of a fortune I pulled out of a fortune cookie, and it so relates to everything that's happened in this past year. It's sickening. Really? Seriously, just that one little fortune. And if you look at it and compare it to what's happened in my life the last year, it's like it was written. It was supposed to be. It was crazy.
That's awesome.
You guys believe in the law of attraction?
I do. I believe that positivity attracts positivity. I believe in, the same thing, opposite things sometimes attract, but I think certain times there's things that when people have in common and have the same goals and the same drive is definitely an attraction point. You know what I'm saying? Probably not saying it right, but that's what I mean.
No, I think you're right though. There's definitely a time where, like putting out good energy, believing in that wholeheartedly allows you to actually achieve those things. I feel like a lot of people that put out negative energy in this world, they kind of get what they put out, right?
Sure. I think they failed before they even began.
Right. You just have to go into everything with positivity and don't drag other people down with you.
You know, it's like that book we were read as kids, or at least I was. That you remember that Golden Books story about the little engine that could?
Yes.
Do you guys remember that story? Yeah, they made a movie out of it too. But I mean, that right there, you know, I think I can, I think I can, I think I can. You have to believe. If you don't believe you can do it, you will not do it. You have to believe it. Period.
And fun fact, that was Mitch reading the book, believing that it could invent TV so he could watch a movie of this in the future.
Oh, you're killing me. Oh my God, this is an awesome one, dude. This is awesome. I'm having us all.
Going back to what you said about, you know, how I got into this position, really that was, I think, one of the biggest catalysts for that was the law of attraction. I remember being on the phone with one of my friends and I was just like, oh my God, I was shilling blockchain left, right, and center. I was like, just in love. And I was like, you know, there's this one ex-girlfriend, Linda. I was like, I think she's coming back. And I was like, and I think I'm about to be the CEO of this coin. And I said it so confidently. And they're like, oh yeah. And I'm like, mark my words, I will be CEO of this project. And that's the
Nice.
one time I can actually say that, you know, I believed it with everything. There was not a single ounce in my body that didn't believe that I was going to be CEO. Yeah, I didn't doubt it at all. And that's exactly what happened. And I've kind of lived my life like that ever since with everything that I do, wholeheartedly believing in it, because until then, I don't think I ever saw something so clear that like law of attraction is really there. Put everything you have into it, believe in it, and it's going to happen.
Yes, I there's no question about that. There's no question at all. You have to believe it. If you believe it and you believe in yourself, you know, that's the biggest thing I think a lot of people struggle with is having faith in yourself, you know? And if you don't have people actually around you that show faith in you, that support you, it's challenging to have faith in yourself. There's no question about that. So the people you surround yourself with are just as important to your success as you yourself and your own drive.
Yeah, if you don't have confidence, you're not going to do well. You know, that's
No.
like I've been there for most of my life.
Well, there's a fine line too between confidence and cocky.
Right, exactly. That's true. You can go overconfident, but you know, most of my life I've been in that like, well, I mean, like I know I could do this, but then I hesitate, kind of thing. And over the past 2-3 years, you know, I finally started to find that self confidence and realize what you can do. And it's like when you find it and you just keep driving forward, it's like there's no end to it because you finally know that you can make things happen one way or another, even if it's hard. You don't have to quit. So it's an important thing for people to remember.
And then us meeting just kind of took it to the next level.
Oh, no shit. No shit.
Didn't it? Oh, this is awesome.
Man,
We are having so much fun. We're having the time of our lives. There's no question about that. What is your stance on integrity and its seemingly lack of existence within the crypto space?
I don't know. I think it's unfortunate, but I mean, as I get older, I really don't know. I mean, being transparent comes with its pros and cons. You know, you're going to have somebody that always has an opinion and they're going to vocal, which they're entitled to, right? But
Which
they're
they're
going to vocalize
entitled to,
it. You
sure.
have to just really be prepared for that. I feel like some people that maybe lack transparency with their identity or something like that and being involved in projects, it's probably to do with something like that. But in terms of the overall integrity, I think it's kind of stayed stagnant since I mentioned it before. Like until we as a community decide that we have to put integrity back on the projects, it's going to be this way. And it's unfortunate, you know, because there's just more and more things happening on a daily basis, you know, like Binance recently got hacked. All this stuff, it just leads to a dangerous environment that is harder for other people to adopt.
Right, but for people to change, for an environment to change, it has to start somewhere, right?
Yeah, it does.
So examples need to be set, and you know, leadership needs to be taken, and people need positive, responsible, integrity-based, you know, quality people to follow, to lead them in this march of bringing this back into the space to just say, well, it's going to be like this until it changes. No, bullshit. We need to change it. And it starts here. It starts in this conversation right now. It starts in every conversation that you have from this point forward.
Right.
It's our responsibility to any community that we're involved with.
Okay, let me ask you a question then. Let me ask you a question based off integrity.
Sure.
Let's say you're running a project, and
Okay.
this project is your baby. You intend to run it for the next 10, 20 years. This is what you're putting your everything into. And there's a spike that happens in the market, and somebody,
Okay.
right, and you sold. What do you think? What would be your overall perception of that? Do you think that person would lack integrity?
Okay, so explain to me the definition of sold, because if you're in business, right, and you're
Yeah.
also a trader, right? So a trader
Okay, yeah.
comes first because that's what you started with in this industry as somebody that traded crypto.
What if the
Okay.
company released some of their treasury? Would you think that their lack of transparency or a lack of integrity? I mean, one of the biggest things that we see in the market right now is, for example, a significant spike in a price, and then all of a sudden, the project
It dumps.
it dumps, right? And it has a lack of identity attached
Right.
to it, so there's no one really to point the finger at. But the project dumps
Right.
and it goes down. Do you think that they have a lack of integrity? Is that your perception of it?
There's a lot of factors that need to go into that.
There is, but I guess where I was gonna, if I may, go with that would be, for what purpose did they sell,
Mhm.
right? And if you're not in business to take some kind of profit, the downside of cryptocurrency and the downside of trading stocks, trading crypto, is that somebody has to buy and somebody has to sell.
Right.
So at the end of the day, somebody's got to eat that high dollar value, okay? And for a project to have some kind of manipulative balance because of the fact that they are indeed the project, right? And take advantage of a price spike like that and dump on their community, I think that has a little bit of integrity-based biasness to it. Absolutely.
Yeah.
But at the same token, I think it's everybody's responsibility, be it the company or whatever, to take a certain amount of profits as to, like, if you're in the company position and you take a specific amount of profits, like 20, 30%, something to not crash the market, but still secure some of that spike, some of that profit margin, I think that's integrity. But to dump all your shit just because the price is way up and shit on everybody below you, I don't think that's right.
Yeah.
I don't think that's right as a trader, but traders are out for one thing. They're out to specifically make money. Whereas when you have a community and you have a project, you have more responsibility to that community and to that project than you do yourself.
Yeah.
So Jonah, in that same question that you asked, I have a counter question to that: is why would there be lack of transparency from somebody in that position to their community? Why, if there was nothing wrong or there was nothing integrity based, no lines were crossed in doing so, why would there not be total transparency with the community?
I don't know. I think there's a lot of things, like, I'm going to use Professor's answer here. I think there's a lot of things that play into that, but necessarily where I was going with this is that my experience is that Linda, and this is just from my own personal experience, right? Linda had an all-time high that was ridiculous, right? At that current time, I don't know if the market necessarily was doing what it naturally was doing, which was resetting and correcting, or if there was other constituents to that. But that being said,
Right.
had the company taken advantage of the all-time high, it would have had enough funds to be able to run the company for the next 10, 20 years.
Oh, for sure. Especially if they were a self-funded company, were they?
Yeah. Like, how do we base integrity, right? Because a company might be sitting there doing something that they think is just. They're like, okay, I'm going to liquidate some of our treasury.
Simply by transparency, I think.
Yeah, but that transparency leads to people having opinions, and it's very hard to.
That's okay.
To have that fine line.
I mean, seriously,
on
think about that, though. It is, but you know what? At the same time, if you're transparent and you're being honest, who gives a shit what the naysayers say? Let them talk FUD. Hey, listen, I've been straight across the boards. You can see it. Here's the transaction. It's on the blockchain. It's irrefutable. That being said, you have nothing against me because I was straight with you and I did nothing wrong.
Yeah.
Right? So there's a difference there, and I think that's where transparency is important 100% with the community when the time is right. you have got that responsibility as a project to be straight with your community. No questions asked. That's just my opinion, and that's how I believe in it. I've always believed in honesty is always the best policy. Obviously, I've made mistakes. Everybody has, right? We've all been in our share of webs. We've all had our share of failures and mistakes along the way where we did what we shouldn't have done. Right. And some of us feel bad about that. The ones that don't feel bad about it are the ones that you got to really watch out for, in my opinion. If
Yeah.
you
It
can go
makes a
to bed at
difference.
night and sleep with yourself, knowing full well that you've done everything you can as a human being for other people and to be positive for everybody around you as well as yourself, I think you've done well in life.
Yeah, just stay true to yourself, stay ethical, and that's the most important thing.
That is so true. And
Right.
to sum up your question, I just think that, I mean, it's hard to say with integrity in this industry, because we see XRP right now, liquidate X amount of Ripple every now and then. People get mad about it every single 2 months on Twitter, but the company is like successfully number 2 or number 3. So it's
Yeah, but if you look at their price, it hasn't changed either. So to me, there's something going on with that, because with all the good news that's come out about that project, that price should have doubled easily. Sorry.
I don't know.
There's no way around it. I think the price is personally, and I have no warrant to saying this other than the fact that it's my opinion, which I'm pulling out of my ass right now. I think that company, I think there's some manipulation, and it might not be by the company itself, but I think there's a manipulation going on in that product. Because how can you have all the good news you've seen in it and it not spike in value?
I don't know, man.
2 cents, 1 cent, not
That
even.
is true. That is true that there is like a very slow increase. But if you think about it this way, like how many cryptocurrencies will still be here in 15 years? I think XRP will be because they have the
Sure.
they have the funds to wait it out. And the minute that they are successful,
well, that
and that's what it is, right? Companies right now, Goldman Sachs and this stuff that was built, on decades of grinds and handing it over, right, to, if I'm not mistaken, I think to the next generation to make it more successful. Like, it didn't happen overnight. So that type of stuff really takes time to grow and to, I mean, it's not an Apple stock, that's for sure.
No.
Well, and the important thing about XRP too is that, like, I mean, the token is not really an investment. I know it's a crypto.
It's a banker's token.
I know it's like an investment, but it's realistically just a really well-known utility token. It's meant to be used to send money across borders, more or less, or large amounts of money fast, etc. It's like it's not a security. I mean, so it's not.
No.
The company can do absolutely amazing, and it doesn't matter what the price of the token is. It just needs to be used, and the more people that own it, the more the price goes up. It's a utility token, and so people need to have that understanding, but they don't. It's going to take time, like a long time, before XRP starts getting, and I think it's going to make it, but it's not going to be based on hype. It's got to be based on real usage.
Right.
Sure. And I think with all of the financial institutions stepping into the markets, XRP is a banker's token. It's a financial token, right? Its goal is to provide to financial institutions. So that being said, with all the financial institutions coming into the market, it's got no choice but to go up in value.
Well, yeah, if we just look at
if you
just look at the last 10 years, right? Everything has gone up in value in the past 10 years. So think of XRP 10 years from now, right? And where this industry really is, how many of saturated coins have really left the market, and the ones that stay around that are successful, I think those will be, they might be traded, in 10 years from now. We have no idea. Like, things might be traded on the New York Stock Exchange. I'm not going to say they are, but.
Wouldn't surprise me though, to be honest.
In 10 years from now, I better not worry about it.
That'd be awesome.
To be honest with you. But I got a few years on you, sir.
All right, so we're gonna go down one more rabbit hole before we close up here. So,
nice.
Jonah, if you could replace one eyeball with any household object, what would it be?
What?
Exactly.
If you could replace one eyeball for any household object, what would it be?
Exactly.
Oh my God, I'd say an ice cream spoon if it was me.
What the?
That's brutal. That's brutal. That's gonna cost you an eye.
You can save it.
I don't even know how to answer that question. I'm looking around the house right now. Sorry. Household object. Is there supposed to be like an answer that's
No,
that's
it's
obvious?
just,
Like
No, it's just a random
think outside the
random
box.
question. Yeah, think outside the box. That's the trick to these.
like
I know what I'd pick.
everything sounds. I'm just trying to picture myself with like whatever I'm trying to say, and it's not a good sight.
It's not working. Yeah. You can pull it off. Come
I don't know
on.
about that, man. I was thinking one of those, like, I have a cat toy
Oh
that like
shit.
flashes and stuff, but that would just be weird.
Oh, that would be neat.
I mean,
actually,
It'd be kind of cool.
me,
Yeah.
I'd pick a peephole in your front door. So you could still see, but it'd just be a different form of vision.
what? Put a peephole in your
You could do
eye.
like some sort
Yeah,
of some sort of
why
like
not?
I don't know, just let's go with like some sort of like laser pointer or something. That'd be cool. I actually do have a laser pointer here, but I don't know how that would work.
Actually, that would be neat. Actually, if
That,
you
that
think
would be
about it.
much more efficient because every time I try to play with my cat, I can't find the laser pointer. It'd be nice to just be able to switch my laser eye on.
Just be
So
like
your cat would be
Terminator.
going nuts if she ran everywhere you looked.
That'd be amazing.
Yeah, you just
That would be crazy.
imagine how efficient pointing would be. You'd just be like right over there.
Right? That'd be so great.
Right? Exactly. And if you
But at
had a
the same time-
rangefinder on it, you'd know how far of a distance it was. No, okay. We're on to something here, guys.
Everybody would know exactly what you were looking at too, though.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah, yeah.
that's not necessarily a good thing.
How old is Winnie the Pooh now, Jonah?
She's like 4. She's getting pretty old.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, 4?
Yeah.
Do you have any more now, or just that one?
I just have her. That's enough. That's enough. Oh my goodness.
Oh, dude, I know. I've got 2 cats and 2 dogs. It's like, and 3 kids. What the hell was I thinking?
You got a
Okay,
full
wait a
family.
minute, guys.
That's
Winnie
awesome.
the Pooh was a freaking bear. What are we talking about here? I totally missed this. Who's Winnie the Pooh? Is this your
Jonah's
cat,
cat.
dog, iguana?
That's my cat.
I don't know. Okay. All right, cool. I was just trying to get some clarity there because we could be talking about a million different animals.
Well, that's why he's got a cat toy in his eye, remember?
Yeah, okay.
Laser in one side, cat
yeah.
toy in the other.
See, that's the obvious details I missed.
I do like the peephole, though, because it'd be like you were living your life in a 90s music video all the time.
Oh my God, right?
Oh, I'd get so sick.
That would be cool.
If it was like tunnel vision, I'd get sick. Oh my goodness.
Right? Yeah, that would be
You
bad.
get used to it though. It wouldn't. Yeah, no.
Can you imagine if
You just walk
Yeah,
around with a
you just
patch
gotta
on your
vomit
eye
the
until
whole
you
time.
need to look at somebody funny.
just picture running at night? It'd be like the Blair Witch
Yeah.
Project everywhere.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh,
Yeah, that would
God.
be terrible. So what you're saying is the
Uh.
device also needs to convert your vision to grayscale.
Nice. Oh my God. You guys, we could, oh Jesus, we definitely gonna have to do this again. This was an amazing, amazing, amazing conversation. I really enjoyed just letting it flow. I mean, today we had a few questions written down and it was like after 2 or 3, they were gone. And we just went on this beautiful tangent that was so productive in my mind that it was just worth every minute of speech. I gotta say, it was awesome having you on the show.
Yeah, I really appreciate you guys having me, man. It's been a blast. Honestly, been great chatting up.
Oh my God.
Yeah, man, it's good.
It's
We'll
so
definitely
much
have to do
fun.
this again soon.
Yeah.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, whenever. Just let me know.
Heck yes. So Jonah, we appreciate you coming on the show. Thank you so much for joining us today. And we'll catch up with you in the Sparkle chat room.
Next Friday, show up at the rap battles and drop down some lines on Twitter.
Oh my
The rap
God,
battles?
please.
Oh my goodness. Okay. I'll see what I can do.
You got to
Sweet.
at least show up and throw a couple lines out. All right. I'll remind you in the chat.
All right. All right. You guys have a great
Oh.
day.
Awesome, Jonah. Have a great Sunday, sir.
All right. See you guys.
What a great podcast that was.
Dude, no shit. I
That
love
was
Jonah,
awesome,
man.
man.
He's always a blast to talk to. I first met him in Vegas at the Block Show.
Uh-huh.
Back when he was still with Linda. And he's just got, just like you said with Patrick, like, I mean, he's got just as much energy as Patrick. It's just in a different form. You know, Patrick's big, big and
Right.
loud and explosive energy. And Jonah is just like nose to the grindstone, go 100, always has a smile on his face. I mean, he's just
Wait a
cool
minute
guy.
now.
I love it.
That kind of, that almost remotely sounds like you and I.
Does it?
I mean, it kind of does. I mean, I don't know. Do you see me as a positive figure in this space?
I would suppose so, yeah.
Well, then, and I see
Suppose
you
isn't a
as
very
that
strong
ass
word, is it?
busting. I suppose is kind
so.
of weak. I mean, really, yeah, okay, Mitch,
I
whatever you
guess.
say, sure, I'm with you. Just because we're partners and all. I mean, whatever.
Whatever. This guy, I don't know what the hell he's
Whatever.
talking about.
Right?
But
No,
yeah,
come
I
on,
mean,
dude.
well,
So
that was like the
seriously,
biggest
you're
takeaway from this whole thing is surround yourself with positivity and don't ever quit.
exactly.
And I think that's the biggest takeaway from this whole podcast. And in fact, I think not just this episode, but the whole of everything we do is surround yourself in positivity and never quit.
Oh yeah. It was just an incredible podcast. I really, really liked talking with Jonah, and I hope you guys did too. I mean, we have a beautiful day going on right now, and when this podcast gets released, I'm sure it's going to be just as beautiful. There's a lot of good things coming, a lot of good things going everyone's way right now. You just got to look for the positive side of things, guys, because no matter how bad it gets, there's always a positive side to everything. You can put a
Absolutely.
positive spin on any negative thing that you are in life. There is a positive side to it. You just have to be willing to look for it and not dwell on that negative.
And never, ever let the money get in the way of your ethics.
Hell no. You have to have a standard. You have to have a moral value. You have to have a commitment to yourself and whoever that you relate with on a daily basis. You owe it to everyone, more so yourself, to live by a standard like that. In my opinion, in our opinion, right? I mean,
Absolutely.
if you don't
100%,
have a
man.
moral compass, you're going to be a lost soul.
Yep.
That's a
It's
simple
no point.
truth.
You just gotta stick to what you love and stay true to yourself and stay true to the people that are around you or that count on you, and you'll do well.
Oh yeah. That quick buck that you're chasing or that some people might be chasing and doing it in a dishonest way, that quick buck is not going to be as satisfying as they think it will. And it sure as won't be as satisfying as someone that has that moral compass on north and just walking that straight and narrow path. And like I said,
Exactly.
there's always that stumble, there's always that trip, but that's okay. That's why you surround yourself with good people that'll pick you up and carry you through that hard time. So keep that in mind, guys. We care about our community. We care about you guys. We really enjoy having you on this show. There's no question, all hands down, that is the honest to God truth. And we will continue this process. I am so looking forward, Professor, to going to Seattle with you in 2, 3, 4, what is it, 4 weeks from now? 5 weeks from
Seattle, St.
now?
Louis. I mean, Seattle would be
Oh
sweet,
yeah.
but I already
Not
did that.
Seattle,
Let's
but
go to
St. Louis. Right. I said Seattle. Damn it.
I mean, we could go both places. I bet my wife wouldn't mind coming along with us to Seattle first before we head off to St. Louis.
Right. I guess as long as it's not rainy season. I heard it rains in Seattle all the time.
Yeah, like 12 months out of the year.
Right. Yeah, I ain't going there. I don't like rain. I've had enough rain in Michigan.
I was going to say, it's not like you don't have any over there.
No, yeah, right. We got plenty over here. Too much.
Too much.
So we got a good lineup coming up this week. We got our Freedom Special coming up this week. We got Anita Metallo coming up this week. Right.
We got Justin Vendetta, the founder and lead developer for Verge Currency, XBG.
Yep. So keep your eye out, guys. Every Monday I like to type out or tweet out our lineup for the week. Give you guys something to look forward to. And I hope you guys have a positive and uplifting week and really enjoy listening to this podcast because I enjoy the hell out of making it.
Man, I had a good time recording this one, that's for sure.
Absolutely.
This was a good cap to the weekend.
It was. It really was. Awesome. Just I'm fired up. So I'm gonna get ready to go do some shopping with the wife. You guys have a great day. Thanks for showing up to the crypto campfire. And by all means, if you feel like you can pull it off, throw a tip log in the campfire. It'll help us to keep going at this. Please critique us if you guys see anything that we could do differently. Let us know. We're not above correction. We're not above guidance. So keeping that in mind, you guys have a positive, blessed day, and we will talk to you soon. Peace.